Hello everyone. Welcome to Monday Night Live. A couple minutes early. Just really wanted to get started, so I thought I'd sneak in here a little early. How is everybody doing? Hi Mojo. You gonna say hi to everybody? Here's a Mojo. Hi baby. You okay? You go play? Be a nice boy. Yeah, good boy. You're right. All right. How's everybody doing this week? I just came out of a very busy weekend. It was a lot of fun, busy times. And I just kind of wrapped up setting up here. I had got an idea like right before I came on about what we could do today. And I had to really quick run to set it up. Hopefully we have enough time to do it. So here we are. We are working on the Justice card. We are at the very end of this card. I have made a mess of this layout. I made some very interesting choices when I was doing the line art for this one. Some things like the hand and the smoke are on the same layer, and I wouldn't have necessarily chosen to do that. It's making some of the shadows and things a little bit more challenging, which is why she's not done. I'm very close, but it's just I made some very bizarre choices when developing this one, so I'm trying to take notes as to like so I don't do this to myself again. But there's a couple things that just make it a little more challenging. If I had layered it differently, had the hand on its own layer, then putting in the kind of sticker lines and then putting in the these dark shadows that we're going to start with today would be a lot easier. It would be a lot easier to manage. Because as you can see like on her finger here, I've relayered a few things. I've had to move some things around. But then it messes up the stuff that I was drawing earlier. So past me was not paying attention, and now we're paying for it. Okay, so let me just find out which layer this is on so I can clean it up a bit. So yeah, there's just definitely a few choices that I wouldn't have necessarily made had I gone a route. I would have done this differently. That's what I'm kind of getting at here. And I need the shadow that goes under here because we're going to erase it. So just making a few notes to be a little bit more careful with some of my layers and things that I put on here, just for simplicity purposes, because the way I did this makes some of the adjustments and things just a little more challenging. So, but that's what this process is for. So we're all okay. And the smoke is in behind there. Okay. And the layering's also kind of funny on this one, where like the left side of the smoke is in front of the lady, but the right side is behind. So it's also kind of a bit of an optical illusion when I'm working on it as well. So she's coming together wonderfully, which has been a bit of a challenge. So last week, I think we left off, we were doing some of these kind of outlines for the different paper layers. I finished those off pretty much immediately after the live. I kept working on it. And then I've been busy doing market preparations and things, so I haven't really worked on it too much since. I worked a little bit on the weekend on it. But I started, as you can see, putting in these darker shadows that are going to help with that extra layering effect. So if you remember 2 weeks ago, it was looking a little flat. We didn't have a lot of these layers in here. It wasn't quite like this, but it was very flat. There wasn't a lot of the shadows. And it was kind of muddy with all the patterns in it. But then we went in here and we started putting in our different outlines and layers, like the outlines to each individual layer. And then now I'm starting to put in our, I'm starting to put in our darker shadows that make that pop even more. So we're going to continue with those a little bit, and then I think if we can get that far, I'm going to show you how I throw it onto the borders, and we can see the final borders of the card. So we'll see how far we get here, and then maybe I can show you that process, because we'll be back here next week with a new card for sure. Okay, so let's see what we've got going on here. So you can see I work in a lot of layers here, but usually like you have the kind of smoke layers individually, and then we have the cloud layers and the Our Lady, her layers and all that kind of stuff, which makes putting the shadows in a little bit easier. But as I mentioned, I've made a bit of a mess for myself here, so I think we're just going to be careful how we do this, because the layering's a little bit off as well. We'll work through it. We'll make sure we get through it for sure. I just like to be able to put the shadows underneath the line art, so there's just kind of less cleanup, but we'll make it work. So let's see. This is okay. We can use this layer. Okay, so we're just going to throw in. Oops, that's not what I wanted. I want this one. Oh, we have Alessandra in the chat. Hello. How did your streams go on the weekend? I'm sorry to everybody who streamed this weekend. I was unable to watch. I had important friend wedding shower business to attend to. Welcome to the stream. Okay, yes, I want this under that. Sorry, just making a mental note before we get too crazy. Yes, okay. See, I just like to have that bit of a layer to work with, and I don't have to do as much cleanup afterwards. And these shadows are going into the background as well. Oops, that was aggressive. Because we're going to work on that a little bit too. Because this is just going for a different effect than the shadows on our individual pieces and our like stained glass, etc. All right, so you can see how that's making it pop that little bit more. Yeah, that's exactly what we're looking for here. Oh, Alessandra says, no worries. It was great. I'm on vacation starting this Thursday. Cool. So no stream this weekend to celebrate my birthday. Well, happy early birthday. That is a great idea. I love that. Okay, we'll do this. Yeah, I always like to take my birthday off too. That'll be perfect. Yeah, it's a long weekend here. I don't know. I always forget which ones are international and not. It's a long weekend here. I'll be doing a lot of art. I don't know if I'll be streaming, but I'll be doing a lot of art for sure. In that last push for market prep this weekend for sure. And I don't want to rush it. I want to give every piece its due for the market, but also as soon as I'm done those pieces though, I can kind of like guilt-free almost. I have like 2 other pieces that I want to work on that I can't really talk about because I'm talking with the people. But I am other than that, I can just fully tarot from about like ideally like mid-September for the rest of the year. But we'll see. I have lots of other pieces that have been kind of waiting their turn too. So we'll just not get ahead of ourselves is what I'm trying to get to here. Okay, where's Our Lady? So I want a shadow in here. So yeah, see, why does not do the thing? Where is my brush? Oh, it's because it's the eraser. Oh dear, now I'm losing my marbles. Oh dear. Okay. Like if I'm able to put the color in behind the line art like that, I don't have to be as precious with the lasso so we can keep moving through. And I just want to keep drawing. So it's not cheating. It kind of looks like cheating, but it helps the process. Yeah, I'm going to be doing art too. I got this drawing people book with 200 prompts. Wow, amazing. I'm going to be doing a long train trip, so I need stuff to distract me. That's cool. Where are we going? Yeah, even this weekend I went, I traveled a little bit, and I think we're good there. No, I lied. I'm not good there. This is underneath. Pooh. Sorry, guys. I'm trying to like figure out the mess that I've made here. So I traveled a little bit, and I knew I was going away for an event, and it would probably take up most of my weekend. But I still brought a lot of activities with me. Like I said, I worked on this a little tiny bit, not a lot, just a little bit. I didn't read any of my books. I didn't do any of the knitting or anything that I brought, but it feels good to have them just in case you need them and don't have them. Oops. Okay. I have a bit of a weird space here. I'm not really sure what I did with this, but we're going to toss a little shadow in here to give us some separation. Just a little bit. Just a little bit. Okay. Yeah, we won't make a print of this one too big. All the flaws will show. Okay. She's coming together though. It's all good. Okay, so nuts. Okay, I'm just trying to ponder our next step here. Because the hand and the smoke are on the same layer, and I really wouldn't have chosen to do that. But past me had plans. Okay, so I think we're gonna have to do this shadow on a couple layers because I really would like to leverage the line art here. Get a really solid dark shadow in here. Okay, and then we'll use this. Be a little bit more careful about what we down here, I think. I'm showing some people my tarot deck this weekend, and they are very excited about it, which is always fun to hear. I'm very excited to make some progress. Been so fun so far. I actually spent some time last week putting together some of the cards in a way that I'm hoping we're going to get to this afternoon. Later on in the stream. Put some together. The Behance projects are almost done. All that kind of fun madness. Shoot. Okay. And then I'll get this one done. This is looking great. Thank you, Alessandra. I'm actually really stoked with how she's coming together. I got a pretty good reaction from this card when I was showing her off this weekend. Actually, what we'll do here is really coming together. I'm feeling really comfortable with this style too, which is great. And how it's coming together, so that's good. Hopefully it stays that way. My biggest concern with picking a style on this one was kind of getting partway through, and it could still happen, I guess, but getting partway through and being like, I want to change the style, and like in a dramatic way. I don't want to do that. I'm sure it'll evolve, and you'll go from like the first card to the last card, and you'll see lots of adjustments, I'm sure. Oh shoot. But or just kind of growth in the style and approach to it. Like, I'm definitely learning from this piece for sure. But I'd like it to still be kind of similar. I don't want to have to go back and adjust them later, otherwise we'll be doing this tarot deck forever. Okay, so shadow there, shadow there. Oh, we're gonna work on the zines. That's exciting. That'll be fun. What's our deal here? Okay. Let's get this. Oops, come on you. Ooh. Okay. So what we'll do here, before I get too crazy with these shadows, I think we're gonna take a look at the background and see what we have, because we had a duplication, did we not? We had a black and white. Ugh, okay, I don't think we want the duplicate. That shadow really throws it, eh? Yeah, Alessandra says, don't say zines too loud or you're going to get ads. So last week on a live stream, Alessandra and Keys were talking about zines, and I was like, oh, I've heard of them and I've seen them around, but never really kind of gotten into it. And I was like, no, I can't get into a new kind of thing. I have so many things on the go and projects. And the next morning I opened my Instagram, and one of the first ads that came up was like, here's a really great way to print off your zines and have all this kind of stuff. I'm like, oh my goodness. It was like hours ago that I was talking about this. It was hilarious. They're listening. It was pretty funny. Exactly. Hey, Devlin, thanks for tuning in. So great. But exactly, today only get this special offer. Yeah, they almost get me a lot of the time. I was like, oh, a special offer. But unfortunately for them, I do a Google first. All right, let's see what kind of mess we're making here. I think we have some more shadows to put in. Pew, pew, pew. Hi, Erin. Love these cards. Thank you so much. I'm hoping to kind of, she's only got a couple final touches today, so I'm going to hopefully show you how I piece it together today. I just want to put on a couple extra shadows here to make sure that we're relatively solid. Now, this should work in theory. Oh, it does. Sweet. want it to be a little darker to really emphasize that shadow there. And then I think we need some more in this one. Yeah, sorry about the car noise. It's really hot here. I had the air conditioner on, but it was almost too loud. It's not too bad right now, but the cars are getting in their last kind of summer hoopla, and my road is nice, and the road that I live near, what's happening, is nice and windy, so all the super fast, awesome cars want to go on it all the time. So that's what we're hearing. They're kind of getting their last summer hoopla in. I can't hear my air conditioner. See? Air conditioner is so noisy. I love the air conditioner because I don't love the heat. But it's also just like, it's really noisy, especially like right here. It's like where it's located. It's in my studio basically, and I'm sitting practically on top of it when I'm in here. But it's really noisy and dries everything up. Like all my plants are really cranky about the whole thing. But I'd rather have the air conditioner than be melting. So it's a hard battle to pick some days. Okay, so let's see what we have going on here. So we have a bit of like, so we have a bit of a, it's kind of muddy over here, eh? Oh, it sounds like you have the opposite. To me, you were saying that in Texas it was 42 degrees Celsius last week, but now it's cooler. We were nice and cool last week, and now we're up feeling in the 40s as well. I was wearing sweaters and stuff last week. I was in my glory last week, and now I am melting again. But yeah, the way the heat goes these summers, like I would be nowhere without my air conditioner, and Mojo would be really upset about the whole thing too. So it's a good thing to have. I wouldn't make it without it either. I would just never sleep. I'd be unpleasant to be around, let's say. Okay, I'm gonna add a couple more shadows in here, and then I think we're gonna try and toss it onto the computer and see what it looks like, because I'm currently struggling a little bit with how the edges of the smoke look and maybe the background, but I also suspect that a lot of the areas that are kind of like standing out to me as trouble areas might also be spots covered or kind of covered by the border, or kind of like hidden with the border. So we're gonna see what's gonna happen there. Yes. In the high heat, yeah, I prefer to be under 1,000 blankets, to be honest, rather than be sweating. Okay, so let's say we're done now. Like I said, this card has been giving me a lot of challenges. So let's say we're done with this art now, and I think we might be, but I think I also may see some stuff that I'm not really sure about when we get it online into the computer. So what I'm going to do first is I'm going to no, let's not be quick about this. Let's export a really good high-res JPEG version of this. I'm going to send it to my computer. Did I get it? Ah, there it is. Perfect. Okay. And now I'm going to switch over to this one. See what you guys can see here. Okay, so we're going to switch over to Illustrator. Okay. So what we can see here, this is the borders for, I'm just going to pull this out to the side because I want to see the comments as they come in. Actually, you know what? I'm not showing my iPad anymore, so I'll do this. I just don't like to miss any of the comments. So let me just get 2 seconds here. Boop, 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 boop. Live streams right now. How come I can't see my current live stream? This is silliness. Sorry guys, I did not test this part of the thing, so let me just don't switch the app. Okay, go like this, go like this. Don't switch the app. No, silly. This. View live stream. I love a good trial and error. Okay. Oh, perfect. Okay, now I can see the comments. Wunderbar. And you guys can see. Now I can see what you can see too. Perfect. Okay. Here we are. Okay, so what we're looking at here is one of the major arcana borders that I created for the tarot deck. So we worked through these a few weeks ago to try and I want to get a color version and a black and white version. And if you might have seen the color version on the Emperor that I've been showing back and forth. But there's so the black and white, and then there's a color, so kind of like red and black suits on a deck of cards. And there's one of each for the major arcana and one of each for the minor. So there's 2 suits that'll be in the gray and 2 suits that'll be in color. And my main, the major arcana, I couldn't decide whether I wanted the black and white or color, so I went with kind of how the art was coming together or what inspired the art, etc. And it actually worked out that I have about a 50-50 split of color versus black and white. So this is the main template. So what I'm going to first do is I'm going to save this file onto my computer, and we're going to put this with the major arcana cards, the Justice, final files. What did I call these files? Final layout. Okay, so we'll call it final layout, because I don't want to overwrite the one that I have here. I want to keep that template so that for each major arcana that's black and white, I can just keep using this. Okay, save. We're in Illustrator here, if I didn't say that. We're on Illustrator for the desktop. Okay, so now what I'm going to do is I'm going to place our file. Actually, what I'm going to do, because I don't have, excuse me, sorry, what's in my downloads? There it is. Get rid of this and put this. I just want to put my files in the right place because this is going to, I'm going to embed it, but in case I accidentally link it, I don't want to. And we're going to name it final. I'm going to put a date on it to save myself from doing final. No, for real final. No, the for real one, not the fake one. Artists who work with lots of files know what I'm talking about. Okay, so so what we'll do now that I've done that, I just moved it from my downloads folder because I airdropped it to my computer. And I probably could have grabbed it from like cloud and everything like that, but I'm not super well versed in that, so I didn't want to make a mess. So this is our file that we just renamed here. This is our final beauty here. How many files do I need? All the files. Okay, so I'm placing our file here, and I'm just going to toss it in here. I just clicked. You can pick the sizing and everything that you want for your card, but what I want is the layers. I want to create a new layer and put this on it, and then put this layer in behind. See, so now we have that effect that we're going for. So the border, and you can see the drop shadow on the top left there is impacting the card. Is this moving? There it is. So as long as the art is inside of this border, then we're good to go. So see what I was saying? I think there's a lot of things. What are these shadows? What is this? What are these? What is happening? Oh, it's part of the pattern. Okay, we're good. Calm down. So I'm just moving them around in a way that makes sense to me. As long as it stays with the border on top of it, that there's no white space or anything like that. I don't want that. And there's no science here, just trying to make sure there's no tangents or things that look out of alignment. Just make sure that things balance okay. Yeah, Alessandra sent me some pretty hilarious animal videos that were pretty funny. So I did adjust my artboard size because it was originally like a 9x6. These are 8.5 by 5.5, which gives me a little less wiggle room to play with. I had a little bit of a wild card before, like when I had the bigger cards. So if there's something that didn't work, I had more wiggle room, but I think we're doing okay here. There's, again, no science. I won't make you watch this as much, but I just want to make sure that there's no weird tangents, that any of these lines aren't kind of like just touching. It's got to look like there's some space. I'm really liking how the drop shadow in the top corner here is looking. Oh shoot, I forgot to tell, okay, what is this? Forgot to tell the Discord that I'm here. Hang on! I'm coming. Oh. Okay, phew. So, yeah, so I don't want to make sure, I don't want to be doing scaling or anything like that. Like I don't want to be making it bigger or smaller per se, because then the strokes won't be the same throughout the cards. I would kind of love if there was less of the smoke, to be honest. How much scaling is going to impact that? I don't want to scale, to be honest, if I can help it. I think that's pretty decent. The shadows are chef's kiss, she said. Thanks, Alessandra. Yeah, I was worried because when I was laying out the other cards earlier, like late last week, that drop shadow in the top left wasn't as prominent, and I was kind of bummed about it because I really want it to look like it's sitting inside the card. But I think because this is a darker card, it's playing the game a little nicer, so I'm happy to see that. I am very much. Okay, oh nuts, what did I do for sneak peek? I did a number, okay. So that means she's the 7. So here's where we're going to start putting in our features. Our font is all laid out here. Initially, I wanted these card templates to be linked so that like if I made any alterations to them, it would change all the cards. But I was starting to get myself confused. This is the Justice card, so we need to put Justice there. Okay, what do we think? What do we think? Yeah, I don't see any weird tangents. Like I said, I'd like her to be a little bit more like this, to be honest. I think that's working. Okay, cool. So we're gonna hit save to make sure we're under control. And then just to make sure that the big card and the little card, so the big card is to size with how I'm creating the illustration, so how I'm making it in fresco. So the art is, like I said, 8.5 by 5.5 to our main card. And then the small one is like the final card print size. So I'm just going to copy this go to our properties, make sure my link is on. I wish this would stop. Why don't you stay inches, silly? Okay, make sure I have all that card selected, and then scale this with the link to a 2.75 width. And now it's going to be this size. And before I deselect, I'm just going to shift select everything that was behind it there and delete it. So now I have a really good idea as to how it works at a big scale and a little scale. And actually, looking at it at the little scale, I completely agree, Alessandra, with your chef's kiss. That layering is working exactly how I want it to. It's a little crowded right here, but I think we're doing what we need to do. Now, if you're going to replicate something like this, there's a few things you want to keep in mind, and I think I did this when we were doing the initial borders and things. You'll want to have, like I said, for that scaling to make sure everything works. So instead of rather than altering two different measurements, just having this link on, it will maintain that proportion that you've created on the left there, and just make sure that the width is 2.75 and the height will adjust itself so it will maintain that. But you also want to ensure that you have scaling of corners and scaling of strokes and effects on. If we didn't have those on, it would maintain this like 1 point stroke that I have here. It would maintain a lot of things, and so it would look at a proportion, like our border would be very big, and the shadow underneath would be almost too big as well. It would be taking up a lot more of the art space, and we don't want that. So we'll save this, and we have time, so we're going to sneak peek a few more things. I'm just going to make sure that there's no comments I'm missing. Okay, good. Okay, so what I'm going to do now is I'm going to, and what this did for me too was kind of maintain where the text is and everything. I don't want to be fiddling around with that too much. I think that the 1 pixel adjustment I just made there is okay. But this way, as long as everything is all lined up the way I want it to be, and I maintain these scale strokes and effects and the scaling of corners, then the same effect will just come down. It'll just be a smaller text size and smaller scale. So this would be what we'd be using for printing. I'm not going to show you how I set up printing documents at this time, because there would be bleed and crop marks and all this other kind of fun stuff. I'm not there yet. I still have very much printer research to do, so I don't want to get into that now because it could be incorrect. So what I do want to do now, though, is export each of these. Export selection is what I want to do, because I only have them on one artboard. I don't have two, and I don't want to make a mess. Justice, final files, sure. Asset 1 was the big one. Whoops. It pops up in the window of where you saved it to, as I just clicked too quickly, but I'll show you that happening next time. So asset 2 is your selection. So I like to do this if I'm not doing individual artboards. I like to export the selection, because it'll just pick anything I have selected. Because if I'm doing if I'm doing lots of things, like especially test runs or things like for a logo or something, I'm not doing artboards. I'm just kind of building and building and building and building until I find something that I like. So rather than putting it on an artboard and exporting the artboard, I can just export what I select, so I can export just the parts that I like. And it puts it in a folder for me because I picked a PNG export. You can pick SVG, all kinds of different exports, but in this case I just want a graphic file, like just a final piece that has the painting on it. So so that's why I just want the PNG here. I just need an illustration file. Justice mockup. That is incorrect. Justice large. Sorry. I had a whole system. I did it all at once, and then I had to remember what my system was. Small. God. Trying to quiet Monday even though it was busy Monday. Oh dear. Oh, Sandra, having a time. Not good. Oops, not that. This. Ew. That's a rough morning. No good. Okay. So I don't want this folder. As you can see, I have enough folders, so I'm just clearing it out for now. Why are there so many files in here? This is silliness. Okay, so those are all saved now. And now, do we want to do a mock-up? I'll show you how my mock-up works. So I'm hoping to... What just happened there? My file just had... Oh, it was saving. Sorry, I'm like, my file had another file in here. And I saw it. I watched it disappear. Okay, so now we're going to move over into Photoshop and do a mock-up for us. So I wanted to kind of like put some of these cards in an environment that kind of looked like a final card. So I'll actually show you, I have to show you the Emperor one to do this because I think this will be a lot easier. But what I did was, what I wanted to do in the final, I wanted to kind of show it like it's an actual card. And sorry, Devlin says, open all the things like we all do. Yeah, I had my computer shut down. I went out of town and I shut everything down. And I didn't realize how much stuff I had open because, oh my goodness, I couldn't find anything when I got here today. So I wanted to have the cards mocked up in a way that looked like a card sitting in an environment because I wanted to make sure, like, I just kind of display them. I work really hard on these and I want them to really just kind of get their moment to shine. So what I did was I exported. I did a run on Firefly for different kind of cards, like tarot decks in the wild. So just tarot decks, I can't remember, it's like a mock-up display. So we have different cards that are just kind of displayed here that I'm going to use as kind of like a Photoshop background. Ooh, that's a nice one. As like a Photoshop background for each one of these different kinds of cards. And then I ended up, some of these I'm looking at again and I really, really like them. I'm using this one and this one and this one and this one, right? No, that's a lie. I told a lie, I'm so sorry. This one, this one, this one, this one, and this one. So each suit plus the major arcana is going to have its own layout so I can find them up. Ow, ow, ow. Sorry, leg cramp. Have you done the mock-up trick in Illustrator? It's really cool. Oh no. A cool Illustrator trick. No, I haven't. But maybe I will scrap my plan and do that instead. I'll have to look that up. That sounds amazing. For right now, I'm old school Photoshopping. So I use those files and I've kind of been editing them as I go. So you can kind of see I started with this one. You can see I've kind of edited this one a little bit. Our butterfly got a little bit messed up. Just to kind of make it fit the size of my card. But what we're going to do here is I'm going to show you, this is the Emperor. This is how he came together. And so what I'm going to do here is I'm going to, like, I took some time to kind of lay this out. We've got our background, we've got our highlight, we've got a bit of an overlay to make sure that everything kind of is pulled together. Very subtle, but just kind of brings it together a little bit more. And then you can see our card over top here. This is the thing to do it with. Okay, I will have to try the mock-up trick. So this may not be how I continue doing these, but I will have to definitely give it a try. So this is another major arcana card. So my goal is, because I have everything set up, so rather than for all 78 cards, doing a new highlight, doing a new background, what I'm going to just do, I'm just going to do that for the first card of each suit. And then as we go through, I'll just be replacing the Illustrator file, the card file, the illustrated file. Maybe more useful in a box or packaging, the mock-up tool, because I know there's been some that we've been using at work a little bit, and it looks pretty exciting. So I'll have to definitely take a look at it. Oh, we have somebody else in the chat. Oh, I'm so sorry in advance. Tobaloba? So sorry if I mispronounced it. I'm so sorry. Thank you for joining the stream. I really appreciate that. So we're in Photoshop, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to place our large card that we did earlier. Now you can place embedded or you can place linked. If I were to place linked and then ultimately go back to change the justice card, which I may do. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to make it linked. So what would happen is if I link this, for those of you who aren't familiar with this, and I go back and make a change to the large file, like I could make a change here, but I'd have to re-export it as the PNG, the large version, like rename it the same thing, then I wouldn't have to go in and manually do this Photoshop again. It would automatically update it. I'd just open the file and it would update what's going on. Oops, oh dear. Oh dear. So I embedded the Emperor one, but I think I might link this one. So the risky part of linking things is if we moved files like I did before from my downloads to the other one. If I had linked it in my downloads folder, it would break it. So I don't want to do that too often, but I think in this case, because we might not necessarily be done, I want to usually kind of like chill with a piece for a while before I give it the A-OK. So I'm going to place a linked one in this case for right now, just until I'm certain that it's done. So like I said, it's risky business. Like if I ever decided, like I woke up tomorrow and decided I want a different folder structure, I'm definitely going to be making a mess. So you just want to be careful with that. Okay. When you're scaling, hold that there shift key, please. Okay. Oops, this one. Just make sure it's sitting there. It's underneath a shadow, which is great. And then one little thing is I wanted to have the card be, instead of having it be a pattern in the back, I thought maybe just having it black and then kind of multiplying over top would be good, but I think that would also muddy our colors. So one thing I like to do that I learned from a person at work, to make it look like it's, because right now it kind of a little bit, the black outline is helping a bit, but it looks a little bit like it's not fully sitting in the page. So what I like to do is just add an outer glow that isn't really a glow. I think when you first use this, it defaults to a screen and it's like white. So that's why it's called outer glow, but I switch it to a multiply and a black and it gives it this black border. Now you can play around with all these different stylings and things. So 63% here on the opacity. I wanted a pretty dark one, but not too blatantly dark. Like I don't want it to be pretty obvious that it's there. Like it's not the first thing you see. And then you mess around with the like the spread and all that kind of stuff. So right now it's remembering what I did for the Emperor. So it's remembering that we did that. So all those settings and stuff. So I'm not going to mess around with them right now. But generally I wouldn't go much wider than this. Even if it's just kind of a very thin outline, it kind of just settles it in there a little bit more. So if I turn this off, deselect. Wish the blue wasn't there. It's kind of annoying. So you have it there. You turn it off. It just kind of gives it a little bit more like it's sitting on the page. Now let me just take a quick peek at yeah, okay. Because I had originally done the Emperor at a smaller scale when I was just kind of playing around with it, and I redid it. I wanted to make sure I was using the right things, which I appear to be using. Oh, shoot. Definitely just overwrote the Emperor. Okay, so just hang on 2 minutes here. This is why we're... Ah! I don't know what I did. Hang on. Okay, saved. Now we'll redo everything again. And we will save as. Oh, my worst nightmare. Sometimes I will do that, and instead of undoing, freak out and just close the file. Like, that wasn't helpful. That's not how you spell justice. There we go. Justice mockup. Phew. So glad I caught that. Okay, justice. Mock-up. Okay, look at that beauty. Look at her go. Frickin' slay. Okay, I just want to make sure. And so we gotta export this as a PNG. Okay, so now this is kind of ready to go in my mind. I'm going to definitely try Devlin's suggestion of the mock-up in Illustrator, because maybe it's faster and maybe it's a nicer way to do it. This is just kind of a final way to like treat them nicely before I send them out. What I'm actually kind of hoping to do is to play with Fresco a little bit and like animate the flames a little bit, just to give it a little bit of a glow. But that is something I have to learn soon, because these are starting to go up in October. But something that is just not on the docket for today. I have to finish market things first. Okay, so what we'll do is we'll file export as, we're in a PNG. Ooh, what a beauty. So what do we think? What do we think of this Justice card? How is it to read? You know, she's not finished because I didn't put the water in. Although I think she's really busy as it is. Okay, we'll come back to that in a second. Let's export this first. So what are we thinking about this card? Because what I was thinking initially, because this is supposed to be the fire, and the cloud was supposed to rain, but is it too busy? The way it is. What do we think? Because I was going to put in some rain droplets. We can go back to Fresco, I guess, and do that. So let's just save this. And I'll show you what I would do next. So this in Photoshop. Yeah, see? That's beauty. Make sure that's saved as the correct card. And then, you guys are all going to get a sneak peek here. what I've got coming down the line. So don't blink. I have almost more drafts than I have projects. Okay. So what I've been doing is I've been accumulating all of the process of each card as I go. Pretty much after each live, I will put something in. So the video, these are the live streams, any photos I take, any stages, so like the line art, etc., etc., and I just dump it into the project. So I'm missing one file. No, file export as PNG, final layout. That's what I wanted. Okay, just as final layout. Okay. So I'm gonna add an image to this project, and like I will go in and clean them up, kind of make it more of a story, tell the story of how it's going through, how I built it, struggles I came across, etc., etc. The order, like this one, I need to put in like the card, like the description of the 7 in Major Arcana. What does the Justice card mean when you pull it? I just like to label the final because then I know which ones are done. There we go. Look at her go. Okay, save as draft. Coming together. Okay, so I'm just saving as a draft right now. Like I said, I want to come in and clean all these up and tell the right story and put everything where it needs to go. And all that kind of fun stuff. But I will lay that out. But as I find, like, this is a DTM suggestion, building these projects. Doing this now is a lot easier than hunting down this information later. And then I can also just throw in some text, like being like, oh, you know what, I thought about this while I was building that card, and I can just throw it in here, and then it's all in one place, so that all I have to do is kind of like restructure everything and then tell the story properly, and then I can just throw it up when it's ready to go. So make sure you save as a draft and then close that. Make sure I'm missing no things, thank goodness. And then we're going to switch to, so that's what I would do for a project. Hang on a second. Did my stream on Facebook stop? That doesn't make any sense. What is going on here? What is going on? But it hasn't ended. That makes no sense. Pile of silliness. Okay, sorry. So, okay, so what I'm going to do, I'm going to switch back to Fresco now. Where's my OBS? Pew, pew, pew. iPad stream. All right. So I'm going to see if we can get, no! See, I always do that. It's like it's the undo. It's not the thing. Yeah, thanks, Alessandra. Yeah, no worries. It's okay to ask the questions and stuff when you're in the chat. As far as growing your account and things, that's like, I think Devlin's suggestion is really good. Like, that's how I've built my contacts, is through my live streams. Everybody who's chatting here, check out their live streams. What are they doing? Chat with those people there. But yeah, there's like some live stream etiquette of sorts. So just a lot of research, unfortunately. Okay, what am I doing now? Okay, we're almost done, but I kind of want to like tap into what I was thinking about for the rain, because I completely forgot about it. This is why there's always these effects that I want to put in later, and I always kind of forget about them. Like I almost forgot the beads. on the fortune teller. Yeah, I would agree with Devlin, like on the clever Devlin on that one. Extremely clever, yes. It's just kind of like a really great place to hang and just kind of share tools and ideas and stuff. Okay. So let me see. I wonder. I know this is definitely not what I want. I want it in white. Whatever it is, I want it on as white. So what am I thinking is, so for those of you who are newer to this, so sorry. This character kind of has like a fire and ice element, and so does this card. This card has kind of got like a balancing of the elements, things like that, kind of a balanced situation to it, because it is the Justice card. So my vision here was that we had the fire in a different kind of manner. It is not very 2024, and it's like a cigarette, but it's just kind of that the character that inspires it. That's kind of part of her character in certain cases. And then I thought like we could do fire and water, and that's what this cloud up top is supposed to be. It's supposed to be dispersing said water, and I completely forgot about the water until just now. So my thought was kind of adding it in, not the same as the beads, but kind of have it on top like I did with the fortune teller's beads. So we've got this kind of splatter here, and I was going to try and see if I could get like a raindrop brush specifically, and then maybe just kind of lightly put it over top. But please, in the chat, let me know, is it too busy already? Is this already too much? I'm going to play with some colors, some brushes here, and see what I can find. Oh, look, a clouds one. Splashy. Oh, that's not gonna work. That's not gonna get the effect I want. Kind of gives a fog effect, but I think that's too much. Maybe some raindrops or tears. Okay, I like that idea. I thought there was a brush that had kind of like a raindrop in it. I'm feeling like it would be in like a spring one, kind of like they have the grass. Oops, that's not what I wanted. That's what we just did. It's in times like these that I wish I hadn't vetoed myself when I wanted to do a big like swatch of every one of these brushes. I thought for sure I had. I wouldn't be in the winter ones. That doesn't really make sense. For those of you who use Fresco, I don't know 100% what's on the paid version and what isn't, so I don't want to steer you in the wrong direction. Disclaimer, I have the paid version of Fresco. But you can download these brushes, like these little these packages and these bundles are available for you to download. So if you go to add brushes, discover new brushes, you've got all of this madness to work with. Usually like a seasonal something, but you can add them all into your brushes and then you're good to go. So it can easily get out of control. I think one of these has, yeah, this one, the mega pack. I put the mega pack in here. It's got like 500 brushes in here. So I try and favorite the ones as I come to them because I know I'm never going to find them again. But yes, I do like clever Devlin's idea. So clever. Just trying to think of like, because like what if I did This is an absurd brush package. It's more kind of like style of brushes rather than effects. What if the effects one? Nope, nope, ink, not the right one. Effects. I think I was already in here, but because we also could like, oh, there's already enough smoke, I think. Because if I did this is its own layer. Just kind of like smoke. I think we have enough going on. I think the smoke is already taking up enough of my time, of my energy on this piece. Yeah, I'm not a fan of that, but it's on its own layer, so we can clear it out after. Because what if I did like, nope, not that one. Where's the best part about testing out is that this starts putting them into the recently used pile, so they're easier to come back to. Because I wonder if we did something kind of like, I don't want it all over that flower. I really, because I don't want to cover her hair too much. I don't want it all to be on one side either. This is chaos. So something like this. And then what if I did something like, let's just pencil for a sec. She's not sad, because I was going to give her a tear, but I don't want to do that. She's not sad. So what if we did like, okay, I'm just going to clear out this layer and I'm going to try this splatter again. This one? Was this the one? Oh, that's too much. I gotta be really selective because I don't want to overshadow her hair too much. What if I did this? Ooh, that's actually kind of cool. Kind of looks like a little bit of a mist. Nice. Okay, then what does this do? Oh. Okay. Sorry. I'm as excited as other people to see these things happen. Sorry. I'm literally just winging this one, but have it be like a smudge like that. So that it's not really speckled. We just smudge the rain. What do we think? What do we think? So it looks like it's raining over top of her a little bit. And it's more of an effect as opposed to something ginormous on top of it. Ooh, intriguing. Switch to the smudge. I've never used the smudge in this before. At least not since I did the paper patterns. I may have just lied to you guys, and I'm so sorry. Ooh, what do we think? So how subtle is that? It's pretty subtle. I just toss in a couple little and smudge a couple. Oh my god, the blue jays. The blue jays are they're a menace. Alessandra's commenting on the birds in the background. Yeah, they have something to say at all hours, that's for sure. Oh, no, don't. Where did it go? Phew. So what do we think of this like smudgy look? Because then it's just sitting over top. I think I would get rid of this a little bit. And then what if we like did erase some of it out? Like all of this has to go. if we switched it instead of normal? Oh, no, that didn't work. Oops. About screen versus normal. Is there any difference? There is not. So we will leave it as normal. And then we play with some of the lines, make sure that some key pieces are. What do we think, guys? What do we think? Let me bring this down a bit. Oh, I absolutely do not want you down there. I super don't want that to happen. So I'll go back up to 800 here. Ah, magic. So rather than being as literal as what I was initially thinking, which was also that kind of tears effect, if we smudge these. So it looks like what do we think? We leave her like this, or have kind of a subtle rain here, and like keep a few things clear. Yeah, I like that because I liked the idea of the raindrops or like the teardrop that you suggested. But I also worried because that was my initial vision, and that's why I was hesitant to even follow through, because I was like, it's gonna look like a lot. It's gonna be busy because the smoke and everything, like this, where the hand is. Oh, you can't see me. I'm like, I usually point at my screen and no one can see. The hand of the smoke was really busy. So I think this little rain is kind of nice. So what if I found like a little, not the wispy one, but like, oh, you know what? This is the one. There we go. Oops, that's not what I wanted. Just using the white pencil crayon to kind of like get a couple hints in there. Excellent. Yes, I'm so glad I stole that idea from DTM to show you guys the screen, because usually I'm a very big hand talker, so I'm glad I put it in there. We've got, it's perfect. Thank you. Okay, that's good. I'm glad, because like I didn't really want to make it too busy, but I also felt like it wasn't gonna be complete without that shadow. But I am gonna save that raindrop idea for sure for a future card, because I think we've got lots of opportunities. There's a few like rain kind of inspired cards that I want to put in here. Yeah. Yeah. Okay. Again, another element of like depth to it. Woohoo! So now what I would do is I'd export this out. I don't think I placed the file as a linked one in Illustrator, so I'd replace it in my Illustrator file, save it out as like the Justice large like we did, and then my Photoshop one will update automatically for me. So I'm going to play around with this a little bit more, excuse me, on the with the rain effect to make sure that it's is very subtle but also still continues to work really nicely. Oh my gosh, we have keys. Keys, you're just at the very end here. But I will show you what we did today. So we've been working on the Justice from last week. We added some subtle rain instead of more literal rain, because the water and like the more literal water and raindrops we felt was going to be a little too busy. And then I'm going to switch us over to Photoshop. So this is the final card, sort of. So this is the refresh. So this is kind of the final idea of the card. We added the rain in afterwards, so I have to update the card, but this is kind of like our final look that we're going for eventually. Yeah, completely agree. Yeah, like I mentioned Alessandra's stream earlier on, and I was saying that we always kind of check out each other's and then meet new people and check out their streams and all that other kind of fun stuff. So yeah, so this is what we kind of put together. I showed the Illustrator process, how we put this together. Sorry, I'm getting my keyboard back. How we put this together and how we get it into Illustrator, and then how I export it and then eventually get it into our magic Photoshop file. But we'll be updating it because when we get over to this, you'll see we've added the subtle rain. Oh, coming back to it, I like it even more for sure. Oh dear, I love a good crazy bird story. So yes, please send those. Looks interesting. Thanks, Keys. Yeah, I'm really liking this rain. I'm curious as to how it's going to work on the smaller scale, but it's like a good subtle hint and kind of a cool effect that I think I might kind of pull into other cards. Definitely something I'm interested in for sure. So this is kind of also part of the learning process. Is like kind of like learning new skills and stuff to go with, but I think the style still works. It's not like I'm changing all of them. I'm just kind of like subtly like working through. So these little things I can learn, I can add to other ones without changing the whole style, because I don't want to go back and start from the beginning. More like a notebook cover than tarot card. That's interesting. I would get that notebook for sure. These cards are nice, nice, nice. Thank you so much. Yes, I'm very excited. I was part of the event that I was at this weekend. Friends of mine were all together, and my one friend was doing some readings for us. And I showed her what I had so far, and she was like, yes, yes, must have it. So good. Hitchcock thought so too about a crazy bird story. You are correct. So yes, I will be careful with my story, with my requests for bird stories. I feel like this one's a funny one though, so I think we're in safe ground. But you're correct. I should be very, very close to. I should be very careful what I ask for, Keys. Yeah, if you want to get to know the people, just kind of join on the live streams. That's what we're all here for. We're all here pretty regularly. I think we're trying to convince Keys to do some streaming, but yeah, it's a good time. So definitely the Behance environment's a really great one, especially if we want to learn new skills and tools. Like DTM was doing some animation with some fresco art this morning, and I have to go back to it and actually like watch it because it's definitely one I want to learn about because I want to animate. Like I said, I was saying to them earlier, Keys, is that the flames and stuff on the final mock-up, I want to animate those and things like that. So I'm gonna try and learn those in a little bit, but I have some market things to do first. Thanks for hanging out longer to show me the work. Hey, I was just waiting for you to show up. I'm so glad that you got here in time to catch it all for sure. I think that's about as much as I can do for tonight. Like I said, I'm going to finish up the water. Thank you for everybody for working through this with me and making sure that we came to a cool solution. I don't think I would have got here all by myself, so thank you. It's looking really good, and I'm going to use it on other cards for sure. So thanks for everybody's help. I appreciate it. Your feedback, all that kind of stuff, super great. Going to finish this off, and I will be back with another card next stream. Alessandra says, thanks for the stream. Are you streaming next Monday? Yes, I do plan to stream next Monday. I know it's a holiday, so if you can't come, that's okay. At least it's a holiday here. I think it is in the States as well. If you're welcome to join, I hope that you can join in with us. We'll do a little more about the next one. Next stream, we will be doing a new tarot card, I think, for sure. Unless I've fallen horrendously behind on my market stuff, in which case we'll do market stuff. But I'm hoping for a new card. Okay, we've got thanks. It's nice to see these. Life is a treat. Thank you so much. Thank you. Thanks, Keys. I'll be on the train. Need something to do. Okay, I will hook you up, Alessandra. I will make sure I am live. Okay, so to everybody who tuned in tonight, everybody who's on YouTube, who's on Facebook, thank you so much. Alessandra, Keys, Clever Devlin. We've got our new friend. Oh no, Toby Loba. I'm so sorry. I'm horrible with names. I hope that you enjoyed the stream. It's so nice to have new faces on the stream for sure. I hope you had a great night. A great week. If you have a long weekend, enjoy your long weekend. And I will catch you all next Monday at the next stream. You guys are amazing. Thank you so much. Have a great week. I'll catch you all next time. Bye, guys.